Imagine your life is ending right now. Would you be satisfied with your death? With who you are in life? With all the things you've done? Think to yourself, are you truly who you want to be? Or has the world shaped you into someone else? Fight Club is a movie that makes you question all these things. It's been more than 23 years since Fight Club the movie was released, and 27 years since the original book's release. However, the lessons given by the story are still relatable and valuable to this date. How, may you ask? The answers are in this video. With the main lesson being the act of letting go, we'll be discussing the importance of the persona of Brad Pitt, aka Tyler Durden, in our minds and our life.
I see squandering. God damn it, an entire generation pumping gas, waiting tables, slaves with white collars. Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need.
Let's begin with a brief summary of the movie. In the movie, the protagonist, who doesn't seem to have a designated name, played by Edward Norton, a depressed office worker suffering from insomnia, represents what most people in real life feel and experience. He represents a dissatisfied office worker who is stuck in a cycle of consuming and accumulating possessions, but still feels empty and unfulfilled. That is what people are facing daily. After his perfect apartment is destroyed, he meets a strange soap salesman named Tyler Durden, Brad Pitt, and soon finds himself living in his squalid house.
That's toilet. Good?
Yeah, thanks. What a shithole.
Through his interactions with Tyler Durden, played by Brad Pitt, he discovers the concept of Fight Club, a secret society where men gather to engage in physical fights as a form of personal catharsis and a rejection of the materialistic values of modern society. The film suggests that focusing on personal growth and self-discovery rather than work and material possessions can bring real happiness and fulfillment. The message of Fight Club is that people should reject the superficial values of consumerism and focus on what truly matters, like meaningful relationships and personal growth. The protagonist is initially consumed by consumerism and the desire to own more and more things, but as he becomes involved in the underground fighting community, he learns to let go of these material possessions and focus on his personal growth. He realizes that material possessions do not bring happiness and fulfillment through the character of Tyler. He sees Tyler as someone who is in charge of his life and everyone's life around him, telling people what to do, encouraging them to find their true happiness, to take all the risks because you only live once, and he himself does whatever he wants to do in life. Someone who focuses on their own happiness instead of anyone else's, something the protagonist himself couldn't be, which made him admire Tyler and walk around him. This is what us humans do. We admire people because we want to be like them. We look up to people who we aspire to be, and it works. We tend to become similar to the people we are surrounded by and admire because of a psychological phenomenon known as social influence. This refers to the impact that other people's opinions, behaviors, and attitudes have on our own thoughts and actions. People are naturally social creatures and have a deep-seated need for connection and acceptance. When we admire someone, we often look up to them and seek to emulate their qualities and behaviors. This is especially true when we feel a strong sense of rapport and connection with that person. As a result, we tend to adopt similar attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors, which can lead to us becoming more like them over time. By being around Tyler, the protagonist discovers that true joy and meaning come from connecting with others, finding purpose and identity, and living an authentic life. The act of letting go of consumerism allows him to focus on his personal growth and self-discovery, leading to a greater sense of freedom and happiness. In life, we often cling onto unimportant things and look over things that are truly important and valuable. We have a tendency to get caught up in the trivialities of life and neglect the things that truly matter. We've become so preoccupied with acquiring material possessions, social status, and other superficial goals that we've forgotten to focus on what truly matters, like relationships, personal growth, and overall well-being. As a result, we often end up feeling unfulfilled and trapped by the very things they thought would bring them happiness.
Things you own end up owning you.
The quote, "The things you own end up owning you," highlights this phenomenon, suggesting that material possessions can become a burden rather than a source of joy when they consume one's thoughts, energy, and time, leaving little room for what truly matters. Letting go can be a difficult lesson to learn, but it is a vital aspect of growth and self-discovery. In the context of the movie Fight Club, the protagonist learns to let go of not only his material possessions, societal norms, but even his own identity. Through this journey, he discovers that true freedom and fulfillment come from letting go of the things that weigh us down and holding on to what truly matters. Societal norms and expectations can also be restrictive and oppressive, preventing individuals from living authentically. The narrator struggles with the pressures of society to conform to a certain image and live a certain way. But through his experiences in Fight Club, he learns to let go of these expectations and live life on his own terms. He realizes that true happiness and fulfillment come from living an authentic life, rather than trying to fit into a mold created by society. The protagonist wanted to be someone who would do anything to feel the thrill in life. Tyler was such a person, someone who would do anything for the thrill in life, even to the point of killing someone or destroying things. But that's not the influence Tyler had in the protagonist's life. The persona of Tyler, which was created by the protagonist himself, was an exaggerated version of putting yourself and your happiness first. Tyler is a projection of the narrator's alternate personality, as the narrator is suffering from dissociative identity disorder. The character becomes the anti-heroic figure of the story and represents a rebellion against the constraints of modern society. Tyler's actions and philosophy ultimately lead to destruction, presenting a critique of toxic masculinity and the dangers of unchecked extremism. But the extreme insanity of it made the protagonist admire sanity even more and made him come back to it. All he had to do was let go. The point is not to go to extremes of both sides. There's no reason to be as extreme as Tyler had become, or to be how the protagonist was at the very beginning either. The protagonist saw both extremes, which made him come back to reality and live it better by letting go of both. Letting go of one's identity can also be a challenging but rewarding experience. In Fight Club, the narrator is struggling to find his place in the world and his sense of self, but as he becomes more involved in the underground fighting community, he begins to let go of his old identity and embrace a new one. This process of shedding the old self and embracing a new identity can be scary and unsettling, but it can also be incredibly liberating and empowering, as it allows individuals to explore their true selves and live life more fully. Ultimately, the act of letting go is a critical aspect of personal growth and self-discovery. Whether it be letting go of material possessions, societal norms, or one's own identity, it requires courage and vulnerability. But it can lead to a greater sense of freedom, fulfillment, and happiness. Just like in Fight Club, the journey may be challenging, but the destination is worth it. If you want more life advice from movies and celebrities, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.